just witnessed is a foreshadowing of things to come.
These two men have waged war in some of the most brutal matches in wrestling today. Now, they take hardcore to a whole new extreme.
Wait a minute, it's barbed wire! He's scared of the barbed wire! I've never seen anything repel him like that!
No ropes, only barbed wire. Welcome to the Parthenon of Pain.
He's gonna have to face his biggest fear. It'll be all the way around the six-sided ring and all the way around the impact zone.
The homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu.
He's getting into his head. He's getting into his mind.
The monster abyss.
No way!
Barbed Wire Massacre.
This is everything we thought it would be for.
Someone is going to bleed.
The face of TNA changes forever. It's time for Turning Point.
The opening contest for Turning Point is a no-ropes barbed wire massacre. About to make his way to the ring, accompanied by James Mitchell. This is Abyss!
For the past 3 months on pay-per-view, Abyss and Sabu have squared off against each other. From no disqualification matches to the unforgettable Monsters Ball, they battled at Unbreakable, Bound for Glory, and Genesis pay-per-view. And while the brutality was off the charts in all 3 bouts, the violence factor gets raised to another level. Tonight at Turning Point, it's TNA's first ever Barbed Wire Massacre.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent from Bombay, this is Sabu.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to putting your body on the line, when it comes to shutting out the pain or using the pain as a motivational weapon, no one does it like the homicidal, suicidal, the genocidal Sabu. And look at the monster Abyss already on the attack, not even allowing Sabu to get in the ring. And Don, we have seen this situation with the monster Abyss play out over the course of the past couple of weeks as Sabu has, wow, a barbed wire baseball bat that he took a shot at him with, and it got stuck in the barbed wire ropes. We've seen Abyss fight through the fear, and he's inside the six-sided ring surrounded by the barbed wire ropes. Plus, there's barbed wire boards around ringside.
I'll tell you what, I like how Abyss came right out and attacked Sabu. A match that Sabu has an advantage because he's done it so many times.
Exactly
but
right.
You saw right there with the bat how it's stuck in the barbed wire. Think about your flesh sticking in that. Think about your arms, your legs. If they can tangle up that with the force, when the body goes into that, the damage sometimes can be irreparable. And I will tell you this.
What a shot, my God! Steel chair shot. Sabu fired it right into the face, right into the head, and there's another one at the top of the head of this 6'8", 350-pound monster. What's Sabu gonna do? Just bring up the chair.
Oh, he catches him. Abyss gonna howl, but he breaks it back to the ring.
2, no. Oh my God!
Caught him right in it.
He tossed him off the pin attempt right into the barbed wire. You see James Mitchell at ringside. He loves every second of it. Sabu caught. Wow, his arm wrapped right in the barbed wire. Look at the referee, Rudy Charles. He's got a protective uniform. He's got combat boots. He's got SWAT team pants, a long sleeve shirt. He's got gloves. Boy, he came prepared.
You can see all already what kind of an effect the barbed wire can have immediately. As he goes right in it, now Abyss goes right there for a chokehold. Anything he can to take the breath out of him, but you know Abyss doesn't want to go for a pin at this point. He wants to inflict damage. He wants to beat Sabu in his own game, because Sabu has been terrorizing him with the barbed wire time after time after
Look
time.
out!
Oh no, he's just fighting back.
Abyss has Sabu. Gonna try and take him face first into the barbed wire, but you're right, Sabu does fight back. And Abyss now grabs onto the barbed wire just to prevent his head from going right in to that very unforgiving barbed wire rope.
You also got to consider Sabu is out there wrestling with a broken nose, where Abyss caught him with a forearm in a brawl they had a few weeks ago when they brawled outside of the building. But I'm going to tell you something, pain is not an option. Pain is not anything you can allow to affect you in this match, because if you do, you will lose it. This is the kind of match you have to block out everything but your task at hand.
Don, we promised you on Impact, ladies and gentlemen, this would not be like any other wrestling promotion that has advertised barbed wire matches. Oh my God! And you see an example of it there. Oh my God, his neck, he's stuck right in the barbed wire. Abyss took him high overhead and dropped him right across the barbed wire.
You can see right there Sabu trying to pull himself out of it, and it just dipped it so early when JB took that apple around it. Oh, he had to go do whatever he had to do, and look at this.
Well, you're right, anything just to extricate himself from the barbed wire. And now he's got an object. What does he have, Don?
I don't know, but he's going right there, right in Abyss, and just grinding it in the arm, just bringing the blood and bringing it out. Oh man, Sabu had that somewhere hidden in his belt there or his trousers, and he pulls it. I can't quite see what it is, but obviously it's sharp enough to draw blood.
Oh God, and again, Sabu on the attack with that weapon, whatever it is, he's driving it into the arm. Oh, the monster Abyss, and he does so again. It's just amazing. We've seen Abyss overcome the fear of barbed wire. You heard from James Mitchell earlier. You heard during the pre-show. Something in Abyss's past that triggered that reluctance to go anywhere near the barbed wire, but Mitchell has helped him face his fear. Sabu, steel chair, position.
Here he comes! Oh, look at that! Abyss gets out of the way, and then Sabu is getting himself caught time and time again. He's already ripped his pants right there. We got to see a replay there.
Oh, if there's any chance, let's take another look at this off the chair.
Oh, man!
Ow!
There's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can hide. It can't be avoided, Mike.
Sabu in such severe pain, and Don, we mentioned this earlier. If there's any individual that can fight through that pain or use the pain as a motivational tool, look at the arm of Abyss, the blood streaming out of it. That has to be Sabu. Substantial height and weight advantage for this 6'8", 350-pound monster. I almost think it's countered by the experience edge of Sabu, particular his history in barbed wire matches over in Japan.
Well, it's obvious he can fight through the pain. I mean, but the part that I'm realizing is, as the match goes, you have nowhere to go. You forget almost that it's there, of course. Right into the barbed wire. That is just
Fight through the pain, Abyss! Let's take another look at this. Abyss charges across. Here he comes right into your living room, and he's dropped toe hold by Sabu and goes right into the barbed wire, and there's a steel chair shot.
I'll tell you what, I'm amazed at how well they put this barbed wire up. As you can see, it's not budging at all as they hit it. It just rolls right in on them, and there's nowhere for him to go, as it's now become a bloody mess. You can see there Sabu trying to get some kind of momentum and realize he's got nothing to bounce off of.
Big clubbing blow to the top of the head by the monster Abyss. It just dropped. It stopped Sabu in his tracks. Sabu back up to his feet. He's caught. Could be a choke slam.
Oh! Right on the chair.
Back first into the steel chair. Pin attempt. 2. No.
I mean, think about that. Not only did Sabu had to feel the pain in the barbed wire, and look at right there. James Mitchell threw in that barbed wire chair, and Abyss, who before would never even touch the likes of that, now he's got over his fear and he sets it up right on top of Sabu.
Oh no. Now what's he gonna do? Chair right across the chest and face of Sabu.
He's got nowhere to bounce
You can't
off
spring
of.
off the rope.
What a counter by Sabu. right where it hurts the most. Oh, man.
Abyss thought that he had weakened Sabu sufficiently to try that move, but no, Sabu was able to position the chair. Yes, it's wrapped in barbed wire. Oh, God, he hit him in the head with it.
Look at the blood on the arm of Abyss. Sabu showing no mercy, goes back and hits him on the head again. On the head again. Oh, this is just brutal, folks. I can't even describe what I'm seeing.
What you're seeing, Don, is one of the most physically violent spectacles in the history of pay-per-view wrestling. And TNA is presenting it to you in this Barbed Wire Massacre. Watch Sabu spring off the chair.
He goes over. Unbelievable. Over the top of the barbed wire. Onto Abyss. Somehow poisoned there. Wow.
Yes, they are on their feet in the impact zone. The TNA chants.
Look at this.
Sabu.
Look what Sabu's got.
Oh no, he's got that big 4x8 sheet of plywood with the barbed wire wrapped all over it, and he tossed it into the ring. What does he have in store?
Oh man, I mean this is just, they're now just feeding off on each other. He kind of thought Abyss was out of it a little bit. He turned right into a boot right there by Abyss. Oh, right on top of it again. Look at that, Mike. That's a way to get you back in the ring.
The front suplex by Abyss, draping Sabu. Yes, my God, body first across that barbed wire. He's just hanging. Let's take another look.
Again, you can see it as he drapes him, and he's still stuck on the top of the barbed wire. And look at him, just the blood, the pain, the gore. Oh man, that's why this guy has got so many scars. That's why this guy has gone through so many wars. Now you know why his body looks like it does.
Now both men back inside this six-sided ring, surrounded by barbed wire, and now there's that big sheet, the plywood sheet, the barbed wire all over it. Abyss positions it in place. Big shot to the back of the head. Oh no!
I can't even imagine this.
No, I don't want to watch.
I can't even watch. Oh, as he throws him on top of this, and you can see Sabu fighting for everything he's got right there. Look at the blood flow. They got nowhere. They just naturally reacted to one another, and they can't do it.
Looked like Abyss was going to try and powerbomb Sabu into the barbed wire boards. Sabu able to fight it off. Now charges. My God! Stomach first into the barbed wire. His entire body is stuck in the barbed wire board.
Oh, this is just too much to watch. Look at this again. Oh, man, there's no way to avoid it. No way to avoid it.
My God, we've never seen anything like this in TNA. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust you've never seen anything like this Barbed Wire Massacre on pay-per-view before, as now Abyss brings, yes, the barbed wire board, another plywood sheet inside the ring.
This, Mike, I've never seen so much barbed wire in so short of a space, so small of a space, and it just gets worse and worse as Abyss is setting this thing up, and you can just, your mind can visually already picture what it would look like if somebody goes in that, and it's just, it's hard to describe.
Now Sabu up to his feet, going to try and mount an offensive here. After everything that he's gone through, quickly reversed off, puts on the brakes. Whoa!
Well, you got to give Sabu credit. Oh, look at that! He pushed the ref out of the way, and Abyss goes face first, body first, right into the barbed wire table. He's stuck there. He's stuck into it. And you can see Mitchell screaming at him, but what can Abyss do?
Nothing. You're right, Don. He's got nowhere to go because he's stuck right against that barbed wire board.
Oh, he kicked on top of the other. Oh, man.
He's sandwiched between them.
Oh, please, somebody end it.
The winner of Barbed Wire Massacre, Sabu.
Mike, words, a picture's worth 1,000 words right there. There is just no way to describe what we've seen as the crowd yelling Sabu has won. He took so much. Oh my, somebody get that off of him.
He's stuck, Don.
Oh, he's
sandwiched in between the barbed wire boards. And look at Sabu put the boots to him after he's already won the Barbed Wire Massacre.
It's just emotion right now. It's adrenaline. They're both hurt. You can see the blood pouring out of Sabu's face. Oh man, Abyss, I can't even imagine what he's going through underneath there, that sandwich of barbed wire. Oh man, here's some more. Oh, that's when he went off the chair, caught his leg. Then you saw the drop toe hold, face first into the barbed wire.
Now you see the monster Abyss just draping Sabu, hanging him over the top strand of barbed wire. Abyss came back, dropped him stomach first across the board. But then the monster Abyss went crashing into one board, and yes, Sabu took advantage to gain the win, to gain the victory in the Barbed Wire Massacre. And they're still cutting him loose. Look at the blood pouring out of the arm, out of the body of the monster Abyss.
As you hear the crowd showing their support, they know they've seen a valiant effort by two warriors. But I'm telling you what, I don't even know if I can look at that shot of Sabu going on top of him in that sandwich of barbed wire that he was in. Mike, this has been unlike anything that we've ever seen. That's as brutal as it gets, isn't it, Professor?
Boy, it sure is, Don. It's like nothing that we've ever seen before in TNA. It's like nothing that we've ever seen before. Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, where for only the second time in TNA's 5-year history, the most violent match in professional wrestling comes to pay-per-view.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Barbed Wire Massacre 2, the most violent, the most brutal, indeed the goriest match in all of professional wrestling. The competitors have agreed to it. As a matter of fact, they demanded it. TNA Wrestling will not be responsible for any injury, no matter how severe, to either competitor. The wrestlers have been warned. Let the carnage begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, for years, we have witnessed the relationship between Father James Mitchell and the monster Abyss. We knew that there was a secret that connected the two individuals, but we were all shocked when it was revealed that Mitchell is the biological father of Abyss. Yes, that makes Abyss and Judas Mesias stepbrothers. The dysfunctional family finally settles their differences tonight. But this is a match that promises violence, it promises brutality, and it promises bloodshed on a level that you've never seen. It's time for Barbed Wire Massacre.
And you see the blood just dripping down the mouth of Judas Mesias. You realize there's really no way to prepare for a match of this brutality because there are no winners. There's really just one survivor, because the barbed wire can rip through flesh as easily as you saw Jim Cornette take that apple and rub it across the barbed wire.
And here comes the opponent for Judas Mesias. It is the monster Abyss, and you heard it from Jim Cornette earlier. And this past Thursday on Impact, we warned you, if you are the least bit squeamish, if you are faint of heart, then quite honestly, Barbed Wire Massacre, this match is not for you. This is a warning to women and children. Be aware, because you are about to witness a match that has no equal when it comes to violence. You've never seen anything like Barbed Wire Massacre.
One thing about it, we know the monster Abyss has the experience edge. He's been in a match of this nature. He's been in a match of this violence, and he knows the damage it can do. One thing you have to do in a match like this is you have to be able to block out pain, because you're going to be in it. You're going to be in so much pain like you've never been before.
You notice that the ring ropes have been replaced by barbed wire. Abyss rolls in to face Judas Mesias, and Don, you mentioned it earlier, Abyss has been there before, and he has that advantage. It was in December of 2005 at our Turning Point pay-per-view when Abyss won the only other Barbed Wire Massacre match in history when he defeated Sabu.
Right now you can see Judas Mesias with those dead eyes, those soulless eyes.
There's just no conscience there.
No, none at all, as he's sizing up the monster Abyss, stalking him in a way. Now Abyss has his chance for the revenge of all the torture that his father, James Mitchell, has given him, and he can take it out on Judas Mesias right now, as you can see him going right after each other.
You know, I'm not sure that Abyss, being in the previous Barbed Wire Massacre match, gives him any kind of a physical edge over Judas Mesias, but it has to give him a mental advantage. He knows the level of pain, the threshold of pain that he is going to have to absorb in this match. He realizes exactly what it takes to survive.
This is the kind of matchup, though, one mistake, and that can be the end. One mistake, and if the other one's able to take advantage of it, he can end it in a hurry. Because when that barbed wire starts ripping through your flesh, and the blood starts flowing, and just dripping down your body, well, it changes a man, and it makes him just squeamish, and it makes him want to quit. But you can see Judas Mesias trying to push the monster Abyss into the barbed wire, and Abyss literally puts his hand out to block it.
You know, earlier this week, I had the chance to talk to the monster Abyss about this match as he catches Mesias. Gonna try and go to a power move here, but instead Mesias fights him off and then connects with a drop kick from the back, and you see that Abyss just went right into the barbed wire. And oh, that is so unforgiving as it just tears right at the raw flesh.
And it doesn't matter. It can hit you in so many different parts. And that's the way you do it, is Mesias that drop kicks in the back, and you see him. Blow after blow, shot after shot, anything he can do to weaken the opponent where you can take advantage of it. And not just barbed wire. Oh, the ropes is off! Judas Mesias lands right on top of it.
Yes, chest first, directly into the unforgiving barbed wire. Advantage to the monster Abyss as Mesias checks to see, as well as Father James Mitchell, the damage that has been done. Want to talk about my conversation with Abyss. He realizes that win, lose, or draw in this match, it's potentially a career-ending bout. Career-threatening, to say the least. And he said it's not a matter of if you get injured, it's just a matter of how badly you get injured. And you see the drop toe hold by Judas Mesias, and Abyss crashes right into the barbed wire.
And that's what the barbed wire can do, is you can see his hand, the tape, got caught in the barbed wire, and he wasn't able to get free. And that allows Judas Mesias to get right to him and put the boots to the head, one shot after another. And now with the fist, one shot after another. And like I was saying earlier, it's not just the barbed wire around the ring. Keep in mind, there are barbed wire weapons that can be brought into play.
Plus the barbed wire boards as well, as we see Judas Mesias, the stepbrother of the monster Abyss. Yes, the son of Father James Mitchell, absolutely relentless in his attack. Mesias going to charge across, but Abyss is able to extend the leg, get the big boot up, and drop Mesias right in his tracks.
Oh, just turned him inside out with it, and now the monster Abyss slides out of the ring, and you can see him pulling up the mat, looking underneath the ring, grabbing for something, and look at that! He's got the steel chair wrapped with barbed wire.
You talked about how the weapons would come into play, wrapped with barbed wire, and that's exactly the case. The steel chair, and you can see, Don, that there's so much barbed wire wrapped around that piece of furniture. As Abyss rolls back in, this is his chance to put a weakened Mesias away.
Well, if just worrying about the barbed wire around the ring isn't enough, think about the damage that can be done with barbed wire wrapped around a chair like that. As you see it in the hand of Abyss. And look at this! He places it on the chest of Judas Mesias.
Oh, he's got something in mind here, some kind of a game plan, some kind of strategy. A concerned Father James Mitchell looks on, but how about that? Judas Mesias was actually the one who was prepared with a game plan, as he was able to get the barbed wire chair. Oh my! And Abyss just crotched himself. Look at that.
Oh, I don't have to tell you how bad that's gotta hurt, as he's able to turn that barbed wire on its side, and the monster Abyss took just a little too long trying to land on top of Judas Mesias. Instead,
look out, look out, look out!
Just got hit with the barbed wire chair right in the head.
The second that Abyss got to his feet. Yes, Judas Mesias ready with that shot, and he nailed him twice directly in the head with that steel chair wrapped in barbed wire.
Oh, and you saw the barbed wire just get tangled into the hair right there of the monster Abyss. What a wicked shot. as Judas Mesias, and you see the blood pouring down the forehead of Abyss. And we told you folks, if you're squeamish, you might want to leave, because this is just getting started. You see Judas Mesias pounding on the bloody face of the Monster Abyss.
It's exactly what we anticipated. We told you that there would be brutality, violence, and bloodshed unlike anything that you've seen, and the pattern continues here with Judas just biting the already bloody head of the Monster Abyss. We also talked earlier about those boards that are wrapped in barbed wire, and now it looks like Mesias is about ready to bring one into play.
Well, he feels he's got the Monster Abyss beaten down enough that he has time to throw that barbed wire board in as James Mitchell helps him to speed up the process. And now Abyss, already in pain, blood running in his eyes, he realizes what Judas Mesias has done. As Judas Mesias playing that barbed wire board, Abyss does the smart thing and crawls out of the ring.
We talked earlier about how this is a match that's equally about survival, and I think that was good strategy on the part of the Monster Abyss to roll out and at least momentarily avoid being put into that barbed wire board. But look at how Mesias is all over him.
Well, Mesias just followed him right out. He's not going to give Abyss a chance to catch his breath. And look at him, just drinking the blood of Abyss, just fighting on Abyss, where it's bleeding down the head to open the cut up even more, to make the blood flow even faster.
No soul, no conscience from Judas Mesias, and it's almost as if he's feeding off that blood that he sees flow down from the head of Abyss, who quickly turns it around and flings it directly into the steel step.
Well, this might be the moment that the Monster Abyss was looking for, that advantage. When you saw Mesias hit the steel step, you saw him hit the point of those steps, and you know the pain. And now, reaching underneath, and obviously, you got to be careful when you're grabbing, but he's grabbing another of the barbed wire boards, and you can see the blood already on Judas Mesias as the Monster Abyss setting that barbed wire board up from the rail to the ring.
You know, this has been a years-long ordeal between Father James Mitchell and Abyss, and when I talked to him this week, I had the sense that the physical, the mental abuse has really come to a peak, and it's really starting to wear on the Monster Abyss as he takes Mesias, gonna try and send him into that barbed wire board. Watch Mitchell from behind.
Well, Mitchell knew the damage that Abyss could do as he just sacrificed himself and smashed his son in the back. And look at this! Abyss has got him throttled, and you can see the crowd wanting to throw him in, but Judas Mesias just in time to hit him in the head to stop it.
How many times have we talked about the tunnel vision from the Monster Abyss? He gets his sights set on his father, James Mitchell, and that enables Judas Mesias to come right back in, turn this match in his favor. Series of shots to the already opened up wound on the head of the Monster Abyss, and then Mesias rolls him into the six-sided ring that's surrounded by the barbed wire.
Well, in a match like this, the momentum can change that fast, and we know what Judas Mesias can do with this barbed wire garrote that he has as he comes over to Abyss and gonna try to he just wrapped it around the arm and just cut it right down.
Mitchell handed in the piece of barbed wire to his son, and Mesias, you're right, Don, just raked the arm of the Monster Abyss, and then of course puts it in his mouth. We've seen that before as well.
It's just a sick visual, seeing him take those barbed wire spikes and rub it on the inside of his lip, and now he uses it right on the forehead, the busted open forehead, as he uses that barbed wire and just slams it into his head. He's already cut one of the arms. Now he grabs the other arm and he rakes it right down the arm.
Just slicing open the raw flesh of the Monster Abyss after repeatedly hitting him in the top of the head in that already cut forehead of the Monster Abyss, and Mesias can sense it at this point. Oh, he feels like he's totally in control, and then just reels off those shots, those right hands, one after the other, to the top of the head, and Abyss is in trouble.
Well, look at the blood starting to flow, not just from the head, but from both of those massive arms of the Monster Abyss. And it just, you can see mentally right now that Judas Mesias is in total control as Abyss taking one shot after another. What a wicked shot to the head as he's got him in the corner.
Mesias measured him, charged across the ring, directed the boot, into the head of the monster Abyss and dropped him. And you can see that the lifeless form of Abyss, it's difficult for him even to get back up to his feet. As soon as he does, Mesias connects first with the right hand. Now he's going to come charging at him again. Opportunity here for Abyss to turn it around. Caught him with the boot. Now he's going to take him with the choke slam. Can he choke slam him right into the barbed wire?
Well, you can see how Mesias is fighting it off. Elbow into the head. Anything you can do, but look at this. He's got him up. Oh, man, he just swung him as his belly goes right on. That exposed flesh right on the barbed wire table.
Stomach first, right into the barbed wire, and you see the reaction of the fans at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. Here's the replay.
What a shot as he takes him up, and there was nothing for Mesias to do as he lands right on it. You can see a great angle of it right there. Not just the belly, all the way into the thighs, all the way half down the legs.
Oh, look at Abyss. Just the blood flowing from his head, from both arms. Mesias tries to recover. Abyss goes, and yes, he's got another barbed wire board. Now we're going to see if Judas Mesias is going to be able to dig down deep, Don, and try and mount some kind of a comeback, because Abyss has really taken it out of him here in the last couple of minutes. But look at this, the loss of blood. That's also starting to play a role in this match.
Oh, it's just taking him emotionally and taking him physically. As Judas Mesias able to get to his feet. And now look at it, trying to climb up, using that barbed wire to get to the ring apron. And sometimes it can backfire as he got his arm caught. And now Abyss has him by the throat. Oh man! Just threw him in the barbed wire board again as it breaks down to the ground.
Choke slammed him stomach first inside the ring, then outside the ring back first, and here's that tunnel vision on Father James Mitchell again. I think Abyss feels that he's got Mesias momentarily taken out of the match, and he can direct his attention to Father James.
Well, James Mitchell screaming at Mesias to get his torn flesh out of the board, but there's no way at this point. And you're right, the Monster Abyss has the opportunity. He's got him up. Oh, and he hits the black hole slam.
He just powered his own father directly down with the black hole slam. And here comes Mesias right back into the battle, and Mesias catches him with the right hand.
Wow, Mesias able to, oh, he's got a black hole slam for Mesias.
Here we go.
Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, man, Mesias got the shoulder up at the last second.
Oh, and that look on the face of Abyss, at least what we can see that's not covered by the mask, showed almost desperation as we take, yes, a replay look. There he goes. There goes Mesias back first into the barbed wire board from several angles.
I mean, what a shot, as you can see the hair tangle. There's the black hole slam on his father, James Mitchell, and then he has one for Mesias. And we thought it was all over, but somehow Mesias able to get the shoulder up at the last split second.
Referee Earl Hebner with the count. Only got to 2. And you can see the low blow right there from Mesias. That stops Abyss, who had turned it around, and check out the barbed wire. Oh, it's got the hair of the Monster Abyss, or I'm not sure, possibly Mesias, tangled.
It just shows you, though, what those barbed wires can do, the damage that it can cause. You leave a little something of yourself on the barbed wire every time you hit it. Nice kick to the gut. Oh, Earl Hebner got in front of the Monster Abyss, and he was able to stop it. Oh, wow! He just bull rushed Abyss right into the barbed wire board, and look at Abyss as you can see him shaking convulsively, shaking violently.
I understand, Don, that we are going to take another look at that impactful move by Judas Mesias as he charges across. You said bull rushed, and that's exactly what he did, man. Oh, bad landing for Abyss, back first right into the barbed wire. Think about what he said to me earlier this week. Abyss said it's not a matter of if you get injured, it's just how badly you get injured, and that's exactly what we're seeing play out here at Barbed Wire Massacre.
I mean, Mike, it's survival. It's all it is. It's the last man standing, as every one of these guys has taken one wicked, brutal, bloody shot after another, and that says it all right there. They don't have the strength to get to their feet. They're on their knees and just raining blows on each other. Anything they can do is now Mesias finally gets to his.
Abyss tries to get back up to the vertical base, and finally does. Mesias in the midst of a series of shots, right hand after right hand, and Abyss holding on here. Doesn't want to go into that barbed wire board. There it is! Black hole slam into the barbed wire!
Here he goes! 1, 2, he's done it!
Was that incredible? Wow. The Monster Abyss does it. The crowd in Orlando, Florida at the Impact Zone goes crazy. Yes, the dysfunctional family finally settles their differences, and the Monster Abyss defeats Judas, Mesias, and Barbed Wire Massacre.
What a vicious black hole slam as he was able to take it and put Judas Mesias right on the board. And let's show you some of the brutal, violent action. There you see the steel chair wrapped in barbed wire. The vicious shots, but that was when the Monster Abyss just pressed him in the air and put him down, and there's the back.
Black hole slam for Father James Mitchell. Mesias drove it, bull rushed him right into the barbed wire board, but then the black hole slam by Abyss enables him to get the 1, 2, 3. You know, many wrestlers earn their legacy in this business through rivalries and championships, others through enduring and dishing out pain and punishment. And I think when you fill out the list that includes Funk, The Sheik, Abdullah, Cactus Jack, and Brody, add the name Abyss.
This match is Barbed Wire Massacre 3. Introducing first, the team of David J. Chris and Sami Callihan, Ohio versus everything.
Here they come. Sami Callihan, Dave and Jake Chris. O-V-E. Ohio versus everything. And showing virtually no fear stepping into what has to be the most insane match ever thought of in professional wrestling. The ropes are down. The barbed wire is up. Speaking of cutting edge, every single twist in that barbed wire, every single thing that this match represents, culminated with a lot of bad blood between these two teams. Homicide. It's Santana, it's Ortiz, it's the tag team champions, the Latin American Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, this match will commence when we return. Barbed Wire Massacre 3 is next. Here we go. You see the teams about to square off. 6-man tag team, no rope, barbed wire match. And I'm going to warn you now, ladies and gentlemen, this match is not going to be for the faint at heart.
It takes a different kind of athlete to compete in this match. I'm just feeling in my stomach right now what these men are about to go through. Wow.
Now we see the opening moments as these teams are going to be in a feeling out process in that perimeter around the ring where the ropes have been taken down and the barbed wire has been put up. Look out. And even the fact that going underneath the ring going underneath that barbed wire. You have to be very careful every single move you make in this match.
Nowhere safe.
As you see OVE, Dave and Jake Chris on the outside of the ring plotting their game plan. Conan, Homicide, LAX inside the ring, and is there, look out, over the top, here comes Santana. Jumping over that barbed wire.
As you look at this, Santana's got to go over the barbed wire clean in order to hit all of OVE.
And now those trash can lid shots right across the head. As Ortiz and Santana on the outside of the ring.
This is just chaos.
This is just complete chaos, and it's just what happens. These two teams, we've seen what's gone on. What is this? I don't even want to. These two appear to have forks. Forks in their hands.
Sami Callihan, when he burst onto the scene, he changed everything for OVE.
Oh no. Holding each other off from. I can't imagine now. Look out, Homicide. Sami Callihan setting up Homicide. Reverse. Look out. Look out.
No.
Oh no. Piercing the flesh of Homicide.
Ooh.
Right across the head. And again. And now.
No.
Oh, wow. Sami Callihan back first into the barbed wire. And that skin. Oh, no. OVE came on the scene, gave LAX a run for their money. At Bound for Glory, we saw the arrival of Sami Callihan, and things were just taken to a whole different level.
No.
Oh, God!
Dave Chris has got a shirt on with no. I've been doing this for 16 years. I've never seen anything like this. Ever.
Ortiz. Oh, goes right into that barbed wire, and you see the effects. It just tears into your flesh.
And you can pull it off you too. Oh.
You see that? It's sticking to his shirts. It's sticking to his skin, his knees. A gruesome sight as Ortiz is trying to free himself from the grasp of that barbed wire. And on the outside, look at this.
Safest place to be is in the middle of the ring.
Into the barbed wire, no. Homicide holding off. Able to wrap. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Jake Chris just went chest first into that barbed wire. Come on, no, come on. Come on. I mean, right out of the Abdullah the Butcher playbook, Homicide is relentless.
And the man is wrapped in barbed wire.
What next? This ringside area.
Crime scene.
Looks like a crime scene indeed, Josh. It's been one thing after another. As you see, Homicide. And these ropes have been taken down. And the barbed wire that has been put up. Not only around in place of the ropes, but you see those barbed wire boards. There's chairs wrapped in barbed wire. The culmination of bad blood between these two. Oh, the chair, and a third chair right across the head of Homicide. Suplex right across that barbed wire board, a chair by Ortiz. And the crowd is split, but seems like we're hearing a little bit more for LAX than OVE.
And we knew it was going to take something to end this rivalry between these teams. I didn't think it would ever get to this.
This is Barbed Wire Massacre 3. And now what? No.
Oh, no! It's alcohol in an open wound. How much that's gonna burn? Oh!
Look out. DDT. Cover now.
End it.
Callihan nearly gets the pin on Homicide. Wow. Standing on two chairs. Wow. Ortiz suplexes Jake Chris on the outside. And what in the world is Santana gonna do? What in the world is Sami Callihan gonna do? Let's take a look at that again.
This is this is just gruesome. Onto a barbed wire board, and Jake Christ, I don't know if he ever gets up.
Oh no! Homicide sacrificing himself in the process, now signaling thumbs down. What are these teams gonna do next?
Oh!
No! And Homicide does not connect and is met with a kick through the uprights by Sami Callihan for good measure.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh!
We have to see that again. Watch what happens to the barbed wire. Watch what happens to Homicide.
This is a front suplex into barbed wire. Homicide is, look at, he's wrapped up in this stuff. You gotta cut him free.
Homicide is wrapped up in the barbed wire, may not be able to set himself free, and allows LAX double team move on Sami Callihan. Referee distracted. Could have seen a 3 count maybe. Not enough. They're trying to set Homicide free. They got the clippers. He's tangled up the barbed wire. More of this matchup when we return on Impact. It's Barbed Wire Massacre 3. We are back. This is Barbed Wire Massacre 3. Oh no! Oh no! Jake Chris fell back first. I mean, he's tangled up in the barbed wire. What a gruesome scene as Jake Chris fell right out of the ring, over the barbed wire to the floor. And now they're able to cut him free.
You gotta cut him and then you gotta try to pin him. It's like a scene out of the movie Saw.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
No, come on. He's not trying to set him free, he's trying to tangle him up more.
Oh. Oh.
Are you kidding me? Jake Chris is wrapped in barbed wire.
And trapped in the buckle.
And can't move.
Oh. And the more he moves, the more he struggles, the worse it is.
And Santana, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what he has planned, but he is actually cutting free Jake Chris while Ortiz dishes out punishment in the ring.
Oh,
I hate to say this, I don't think Santana did that out of mercy.
No, they're
no, come on. No. What on earth?
Oh! Oh!
Dear God.
Jake Chris is a father. He's got children.
I have never, here's a cover. Please, oh,
Why?
come on. I can't look. Let's take a look at this again.
This is a Death Valley driver with a man wrapped in, a father wrapped in barbed wire through a board, also wrapped in barbed wire. Who thinks of this?
What now? Going for a pile driver, it appears, as Santana on the outside of the ring. That's Ortiz, and no! Come on, no! Right through the table. Let's see that again.
These two may be stuck together for eternity. The spear, the table, the barbed wire, the blood, the carnage. Wow.
I got human pig cushion, the lacerations, the scars that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, I'll say this, JB, whoever wins this match, they earned it.
Are there any true winners in this match? It's a battle, it's a fight. Things escalated to such a place where these teams wanted to fight it out in the most violent, vicious way possible. And we are seeing the culmination of that bad blood right here tonight. Look out, Sami Callihan. Barbed wire chair on Santana, no. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Tombstone.
One, two. And how on earth did he get out of that? What does Santana have left in the tank? What does Ortiz have left in the tank? Let's take a look at this again. The vicious Sami Callihan.
This is a tombstone pile driver to a man onto a chair wrapped in barbed wire, and somehow Santana kicked out at 2.
Now what? You see, half the barbed wire's gone. As bodies have been thrown into and have taken down the barbed wire that has been strung up around the six-sided ring. Oh, pile driver. Sami Callihan now looking to set up a ladder. The fact that he's got just an evil grin on his face, the fact he could be possibly enjoying this carnage is sickening. And now what?
These men knew what they were getting into with this matchup.
And now what? Tables. Santana spread right across the middle of 2 tables while Dave Chris makes his way. Look out. Here's Conan. Conan. Kick between the uprights. Oh! And Conan getting involved.
Remember, Conan's face was burned with a fireball from Callihan weeks ago.
It was that moment that really took, what is this? What on earth is this? Those are wooden skewers.
How's he gonna do with them? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm gonna be sick.
From the top.
Oh!
Crash and burn through the table with wooden skewers. And mercifully, this is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Barbed Wire Massacre 3, the Latin American Exchange.
Well, if that is not the most violent match we've ever seen here on Impact, I am left stunned, speechless as everybody else is here in attendance tonight. Let's take a look at how it all went down.
I mean, you look at these two on top of a ladder and wooden skewers, he just drives them into the head of Dave Christ with his own palm. They stick, and my God, I think I'm gonna be sick. What else is there to say?
As you see, the bodies strewn about. Barbed Wire Massacre 3. Unbelievable.
There you see it, ladies and gentlemen. The concept is called Barbed Wire Massacre. Let the pictures tell the story and understand that two human beings are about to enter the fray.
I've never ever seen anything like this in all my years of professional wrestling. This is just, it's sickening to look at, and I am now in fear. I am now in fear of the two competitors that are about to come in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Barbed Wire Massacre. Introducing the participants first. From an undisclosed location somewhere close to anonymous Ohio, he is the draw, Sami Callihan.
16 years a pro, over 30 championships around the globe. He calls himself the most versatile wrestler in the world. Others call him maniacal, sadistic, ego-driven, but at the end of the day, he is still the draw, Sami Callihan.
He is a draw, Sami Callihan, and he's sick and sadistic, and he fears no one, and some say he does not feel pain. Tonight we're going to test that, because that ring has pain written all over it.
See the bat shaking ominously, swinging in the wind.
His opponent from Boston, Massachusetts, Eddie Edwards.
Nearly 20 years a pro in the sport of professional wrestling, a two-time Impact champion, but this man cut his teeth in the rings of Japan in pro wrestling. Noah and D'Lo, you know, the mileage that puts on the soul, the scar tissue, that's immeasurable.
That's what hardens the soul. And this man, Eddie Edwards, will not back down from anyone. You see him walking to the ring, surveying what he's about to walk into, but yet he's still walking into the ring.
Great point, Eddie Edwards, of course. Great friends with Tommy Dreamer. I'm sure Tommy Dreamer spoke to Eddie about a show called Born to be Wired that featured Terry Funk and Sabu. It was a violent, carnage-filled match. Eddie Edwards has to know what he's getting into. His wife has to know what he's getting into. His kid at home has to know what he's getting into. D'Lo, your thoughts?
Right now, if I'm Alicia, wherever she's at, I know she's probably watching. She has to be watching. Or maybe she can't even watch, can't even stand to watch it. But I know she is scared for her husband's safety. I know she is fearful of what may happen.
How much should be paid, how much attention should be paid to the fact that Eddie Edwards is an angry fighter, and an angry fighter is a sloppy fighter. Can you afford to be sloppy with Sami Callihan?
You can't be sloppy, but an angry fighter is also a dangerous fighter, and never lose that perspective there. Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan are both dangerous individuals inside that squared circle.
There's a deep and rich history here. Sami Callihan nearly ended Eddie Edwards' career with a bat to the eye. And then just a few short weeks ago, did it again. Now there's the old saying from Exodus, an eye for an eye. It appears in Leviticus and Deuteronomy as well. And it means that an eye is worth just as much as an eye. And I think people sometimes misconstrue the saying, but here it applies.
It does apply.
Oh! Careful. Look at Sami though. Completely just unbothered.
Just didn't even care if the barbed wire just throwing on the straight was on.
Eddie Edwards will attempt to use the Boston Knee Party. It is a signature trademark maneuver of his, of course, the homage to his home in Boston, Massachusetts. Collar and elbow tie-up, which seems strange in a match like this, D'Lo.
It does, but it seems like they're both men are trying to feel it out. And it's about the intimidation factor. Yes, it seems a little weird with a collar and elbow lockup in this type of match, but still, these two know each other so well. I don't think there's any new tricks they can show each other.
But they don't know each other in this environment, so it's a reintroduction, and I think that's important, and we shouldn't lose sight of that. Also, the ropes no longer come into play as they normally would. Everything is different.
Yeah. Oh,
there it is.
There it is. First touch of the barbed wire.
I'm not so sure that that leather vest protects Sami Callihan.
No.
And how about both guys? Normally you'd see in the old Texas death matches and things, the guys come in fully dressed. Both of these guys showing flesh. I don't think either are afraid to spill blood and leave flesh behind for their legacies in our sport.
No, I think they're both willing to leave it all in the ring tonight to prove a point that I'm going to beat you or you're going to beat me, but somehow this rivalry is going to come to an end tonight.
You know, the rest of the locker room watching this. There are monitors all over the building. Of course, with protocols in place, people aren't congregating, but the entire locker room looks to these two as the guys right now.
Yes.
But just like every nature show, the lions, the wolves circle, don't they? And eventually the lions, their place is taken. Look at that picture.
My goodness, that just, you can already see the blood flowing. Oh my goodness.
What does this do to your career, D'Lo? We mentioned Sami Callihan, about 16, 17 years a pro. Eddie Edwards, nearly 20 years a pro, or just over that. A match like this at this point in your career, why?
It shortens what's left of your career. It shortens it down. This is the equivalent of 50 matches, what you're about to put your body through, what you're about to endure.
But to be willing to do it. And both of these guys, they don't need to prove anything anymore in this sport. I think that's a safe assumption here. But the fact that they're willing to go into this match, I think it shows the hatred, the literal pure vitriol that they have for one another.
Yes, no, they don't have to do it, but they need to do it. They need to do it to prove it to each other, because this rivalry has spanned over 3 years. It is the most violent rivalry in the history of Impact Wrestling, and somehow, some way, it has got to end.
Sami Callihan wearing the boots of war, and very smartly, astutely, sends the barbed wire board out of the ring. Sami Callihan constantly thinking at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that we have cracked the top 5 trend on Twitter, hashtag hard to kill. D'Lo Brown, what do you think? Why not? There is no laughing matter, though. As these two have a notorious hostility. Boots to the face. And ladies and gentlemen, when the board was sent out, one of our wires are hit. I understand we have lost D'Lo Brown. That very board is sitting right behind Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan now. Sami now sees his blood, and perhaps that only inspires this maniacal, sadistic, cruel Sami Callihan. And I thank our staff here. We've got our wires back and going. D'Lo Brown, do we have you back?
I am back, and I'm in living color. Here I go. Yeah, when that board came flying out, it came towards our desk and just knocked our headsets out. So, but I'm back. We're good to go. And there's the N64 controller in play.
Wrapped in barbed wire, nonetheless.
Amazing.
You can see that the kendo stick and the bat, the preferred weapons of these respective wrestlers.
It is Sami going for a suplex to the floor?
Yeah, that barbed wire board is set up along our barricades, and you can see that Eddie is dropping his rear, and that makes his weight go closer to the mat, harder for Sami to pull him over.
Yeah, he lowered his level.
Hang on.
What is Eddie doing?
Eddie is gonna fly, and
Oh my goodness!
Sami Callihan is outsmarting Eddie Edwards. It's not because he's a better wrestler, it's because Eddie Edwards is fighting angry, and Sami's a master manipulator. He knows that he needs an advantage, and this is the advantage, and look, Sami just reveling in it.
Well, you had referenced it earlier that Eddie sometimes is reckless because he's angry. That is a moment right there he was reckless. He just wanted to go inflict damage on Sami, and it backfired.
But it's reckless because Sami made it.
Yes.
Let's take a look again, and there's the impact. Landing hard on his lower back, and now back to the live action, pressing down on that very lower back.
Look at that, and ramming the barbed wire into Eddie's back.
You know, you don't have to like Sami Callihan, but you have to respect him.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh! Cactus elbow onto the floor. This rivalry has reached a crescendo. Barbed wire massacre. Timing is everything in our sport, folks.
This is just, quite frankly, disturbing. Eddie Edwards is laughing. He is laughing at the pain.
Let's take a look one more time. I called it the cactus elbow because that's who made it infamous, as you saw a little bang bang from Sami. You know, you think about the influence of what is called the death match, if you will, or hardcore wrestling, and it really has forged a spot in our sport. I know a lot of purists may poo-poo it, but at the end of the day, to be a quote-unquote hardcore wrestler, not implying that both of these guys are, but being able to do it, it makes you versatile, right? You don't just have a fastball, have a curveball, have a slider, have a change.
It makes you multidimensional in this business, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I am not opposed to hardcore matches like this, particularly in this situation, this instance, with a rivalry that's gone through every gambit, that's gone through every incarnation of a match. There's got to be some way to end this, and you elevate up. The stakes are higher, so you need this type of match to end this rivalry.
Over the shoulder of Sami Callihan, we peer inside the ring, adorned with barbed wire and other accessories. Eddie Edwards writhing in pain, blood dripping from his face, staining the mat. Sami Callihan stalking with malintent.
Yeah, look at him. Sami's just taking his time. He's about to pick the bones of Eddie Edwards. He wants to inflict as much damage as he can.
Eddie looking around. Where do I want to put him? Where do I want to hurt him?
Oh!
Sami trying to hurt him.
And you can just see the scars forming, the cuts, the abrasions, the blood.
Well, I mentioned it at the top of the show that this rivalry has scarred the flesh of Impact Wrestling, and I think it's appropriate that a match like Barbed Wire Massacre now embodies that.
This style of match is unbelievable.
Thank you, Eddie. night long we've been touting the sport of professional wrestling, but there comes a time where that devolves and it unravels. Eddie Edwards is a better wrestler than Sami Callihan. Is that a fair statement?
Without a doubt, yes.
So what does Eddie need to do to change the momentum in this type of match?
He's got to get control and just control this match. He's got to, like right now, this is where Sami flourishes. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I am at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words.
Sami Callihan has been so vicious throughout this match. Here is just one example. Turning over a suplex, dumping Eddie onto the top rope, strewn in barbed wire, and then whipping Eddie Edwards with a video game controller wrapped in barbed wire. Yes, I just said that.
Yes. I did not think I'd ever hear those words come out of your mouth, and I just heard them.
Stick around, you'll be surprised. Nice jump kick there by Eddie Edwards. We talked about what does Eddie need to do. He needs to turn this into a wrestling match. And now, here it is, piggyback stunner. Could this be what Eddie Edwards needs? Could this be where Eddie Edwards begins to find his hard-to-kill moment?
In the game of football, we can say momentum shifts. You can see the field tip to one side or the other. Right now, the field tipped completely towards Eddie Edwards with that backpack stunner.
But Eddie Edwards is in a position, to use your football analogy, where the running game hasn't worked. And if that's the case, then play action won't work and a quarterback can't go down the field. Eddie Edwards needs to change his game plan and do it now.
He needs to just air it out, let it go, let it fly. And this is what Eddie Edwards looks like he's doing. He's going after the chair. He's going after that barbed wire wrapped chair.
Is it safe to say that Eddie Edwards almost needs to become Sami Callihan?
He needs to devolve into Sami Callihan and fight Sami's game.
Going for it, Sami able to block it, and there, Thunder Bomb! I'm immediately reminded of Jun Akiyama there.
On the barbed wire chair. You see how he's covering him?
And again, I love the international influence. We talked about Eddie's experience in Japan, and I think it's okay to mention wrestlers all around the world because it puts moves into context.
Absolutely. Did you see the way Eddie was trying to cover there? He wasn't covering to win. He was covering Blue Thunder Bomb right here. If we see the cover, he wasn't covering to win. He was covering to inflict damage with that barbed wire.
Smart, great observation.
That wasn't about getting the victory right there. It was about inflicting damage.
Now Eddie, with a barbed wire steel chair in hand, tosses it aside. Sees that Sami Callihan is in a precarious position here, trapped between the ring ropes and the panel of the steel cage. Oh! And again, Sami out-quickens or outsmarts Eddie Edwards.
He baited Eddie in, and Eddie took the bait and just went head first into that siding of the steel cage.
Look, Eddie Edwards isn't that much better than Sami, but he is better, and Sami knows it, and he has to even the playing field. Barbed Wire Massacre isn't enough. It has to be a mental game for Sami Callihan to succeed.
Sami is being very cerebral right now. He is in Eddie's head. He's in his head.
Oh, he's also in his head.
Yes.
No disqualifications, obviously, if you haven't figured that out by now. Eddie Edwards, what a career. And if it ends like this tonight, he has nothing to be ashamed of. Sami Callihan, on the other hand, will maybe one day look back with some remorse.
No, I don't think he'll ever look. This in good and evil is a matter of perspective, and in Sami's perspective, he's doing what's right. He'll never look back on this and say, oh man, with any kind of remorse.
Oh, that's interesting. When we ate from the tree of knowledge, we as humans decided what was right and wrong, and thus the world went to hell in a handbasket. Notice there, look, Eddie has barbed wire cuts on his ankles, on his calves. We talked about exposing flesh in this kind of match. Eddie's lower extremities are suffering.
Look at, they're both ripping barbed wire off the cage.
What's hanging from the bloody tape, bloody barbed wire, bloody faces. This is hard to kill.
Just let this breathe for a second. Look what these two men are doing to each other. Sami's crawling over.
You almost have to admire the determination.
You have to admire it. and neither man is going to back down. They both want to end this. Sami with the kendo stick, wrapped in barbed wire.
That is the preferred weapon of Eddie Edwards, and
Eddie
in a juxtaposition, Eddie now has a preferred weapon of Sami Callihan.
And they're squaring off with each other's weapons. Wait.
How about Eddie Edwards? Here, man. Live by the sword, die by the sword. You want this? Here's yours. I'll take mine. Let's fight!
Am I wrong? There is a slight nod of respect between the two of them.
It says that Eddie Edwards, no matter what, we've used this word devolve, Eddie Edwards will always remain steeped in morals and ethics. And sometimes pro wrestling isn't a place for someone like that. Oh. Ooh, look how he pulls it out.
That's ripping, ripping at him. That's ripping at Sami.
Oh! Referee Brandon Toll right there checking on Eddie Edwards. We talked about it in the Taya Diana match. When is enough enough?
Eddie just got guillotined by that chain that's just strung from corner to corner. Wow. In full disclosure, I'm going to let the world know you jumped out of your seat when that happened, because that's not something that you...
Well, I mean, look and listen.
Look at this.
Of course I'm going to jump out of my seat. That's a human being. I've come to know Eddie Edwards and his wife. We share a lot of conversations, laughter, candy, all these things. It hurts to see your friend in there, but sometimes you got to put that aside, so I apologize.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. No need to apologize. You are a human being as well, and you're reacting. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my time in the business. I'll be the first one to say that.
Now, Sami Callihan arranging a barbed wire board. I don't know if Sami has a degree in engineering, but it looks like he did a pretty good job.
He did a pretty good job of erecting that. I will say that.
He just did. What does Sami Callihan have in mind here?
There's a thumb to the eye right there. Look at that.
D'Lo, it's a crappy move, but it's smart.
It's effective. You blind your opponent, you cause pain. Is he going for the pile driver? No.
Shoulders down, leg covered, 2. There is something called fighting spirit, and Eddie Edwards has it. And if he'd been missing it this entire night, finally he has woken up. Finally Eddie Edwards realizes what's in front of him, and Eddie Edwards does not care about anything other than tonight. Pile driver through a barbed wire board, and Eddie Edwards still is alive.
I don't know what I just saw. I don't know how Eddie kicked out, but it has to be that fighting spirit. It has to be the will to win.
We talk about Japanese wrestling. We'll see a lot of it in our main event tonight. That fighting spirit is huge. It's the energy that a fighter gives off, and the crowd and the world feeds off of that energy as well. Energy is contagious, and right now Eddie Edwards' energy may be fading.
Here it is. Oh!
That is a callback to the first time Sami blinded Eddie Edwards. Eddie would have none of it.
Eddie is just fighting. He's setting him up. Is he?
Boston knee party on the chair, barbed wire, rolling over, shoulders down, leg is hooked, and on a 1 count.
Kicked out on 1.
You talk about fighting spirit, you talk about dark energy, Sami Callihan has it.
Sami is showing that same vigor.
Hey, look at that, a modification on Emerald Flosion. The shout to Misawa, Eddie's wrestling hero. Is it enough? It is!
Wow!
Here is your winner, Eddie Edwards.
How fitting that we talked about Eddie Edwards' career in Japan. It's the move that he used to win the Global Honor Crown title so many years ago. He puts it as his own, a cross-legged Emerald Flosion, and there you see his wife coming to his aid.
And you can see here in the Impact Zone at Skyway Studios in Nashville, barbed wire is everywhere, except for this main event matchup at Victory Road.
This is your Victory Road main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Barbed Wire Massacre. Introducing first, representing Moose Nation, Moose!
Moose saying just moments ago that these extreme style matches are, quote, his expertise. And frankly, considering his resume, considering the way we've seen him perform very recently against All Odds, Ravens, Clockwork Orange House, fun match, and then at Slammiversary, the Monsters Ball match, Moose just looked at home in those bouts. What do you think?
It's hard to argue. He's got that shell of that well-refined, well-tuned athlete, but there is a monstrosity inside the wrestling god that's been awakened.
From Rutherford, New Jersey, Steve Maclin!
Ray, well, the last time we saw that face paint on Steve Maclin, it was at Rebellion back in April. On that night, Steve Maclin defeated Chris Sabin and the reigning IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jay White in the same match.
A feat for the ages for the young career of Steve Callihan. Can Steve Maclin, can he make another one here tonight?
From a compound close to anonymous Ohio, he is the Death Machine,
Sami Callihan channeling Mick Foley here tonight at Victory Road. A legend who has had a tremendous imprint on the career of Sami Callihan. So much so that once the bell rings for this matchup, no one will have competed in more Barbed Wire Massacre matches in Impact history than Sami Callihan.
And who better to channel here than the hardcore legend himself when it comes to something like Barbed Wire Massacre. I was talking to Sami before, and he mentioned that he looked up to people like Mick Foley and Terry Funk and the death matches and hardcore matches they did in places like Japan and all across the world. And he wants to bring that chaos here to the Impact Zone and put Moose and Maclin away for good.
The only way to win this match, pinfall or submission inside the ring. Death smiles on all three of them tonight. This is Barbed Wire Massacre.
And a stoic beginning for a chaotic situation. Who's gonna blink first in this standoff?
On Maclin rushes at Callihan. Oh, into the barbed wire door.
Good God!
Cactus Driver 97.
And this one could be over surprisingly quick. But if I know anything about Sami Callihan, if I know anything about the Death Machine.
The highlights are happening early. Moose went after Callihan. He got Maclin, split the door in half. And then we were talking about Mick Foley.
And then there's the Cactus Driver 97. But like I said, this is not the way Sami Callihan wants to end it. Not this fast, not this easily.
And Moose able to avoid the disaster. There is barbed wire all over the ropes, all over these doors. It's in the corner. It's wrapped around a chair, a bed. It's everywhere.
The entire impact zone is adorned with instruments of violence and destruction in the form of barbed wire. And you know Callihan is going to want to have some fun. And Moose has got to remind himself.
Oh, it thumbs right into the eyes of Moose.
You have to go against your instincts in a matchup like this.
Oh, God.
What'd I tell you?
Oh! And Moose went over the barbed wire and leveled Maclin.
There's that well-tuned athlete melding right into this violent situation.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a wet floor sign, but it's not water or a mop we're talking about. It might be wet with blood in a moment.
The irony of a caution board wrapped in barbed wire.
Well said.
Now Moose, Callihan, and Maclin outside of the ring. Plenty of danger still all around the impact zone.
Meanwhile, Maclin still feeling everything from that barbed wire door, and now these two are slugging it out on the outside.
And remember, Moose and Callihan, these two despise each other on an extraordinarily deep level. Moose sent into the barricade. A little over a year ago, it was Moose who broke the leg of Sami Callihan, cost Callihan about a year of his career.
It was right here in this building in Nashville where Sami suffered that broken ankle at the hands of Moose and Morrissey. He never forgot it. This has been a long time coming. And the Death Machine Tom is at home right here in Barbed Wire Massacre.
Maclin and Moose down on the outside, and now Callihan. Oh my God, trying to drive Maclin face first into the barbed wire.
Oh, gripping at the eyes of Maclin. And you gotta be careful, everywhere you reach, there is barbed wire, something to cut, to slice, and to maim you.
And now setting up a table, which is littered with barbed wire.
And you gotta look at that. You gotta be careful with the setup.
Half the challenge of this is just avoiding the barbed wire so you can assault your opponents.
Well, you heard Sami Callihan earlier when he hit the ropes. I like it, he said.
Now Callihan trying to launch Moose here. Callihan, it'll prevent, oh my God, looking for a Death Valley driver into the barbed wire table.
And Moose just collapses right into that pit, that pile of twisted metal and wood. Take a bow, kid, you deserve it. For the symphony of destruction you have just started to cause here in Nashville in the Impact Zone.
And now Callihan turns his attention to Maclin, trying to push his face into the barbed wire. Now Callihan sent into the barbed wire by Maclin.
Caught up against the ropes into the most fence of barbed wire. Sami asking for more.
Look at Maclin hammering away on Sami Callihan, taking the barbed wire door and he launched it at Moose, who's still in the rubble of that table.
Maclin didn't forget the opening moments of his matchup, getting tossed into that barbed wire door, and now dragging the barbed wire across the forehead of Sami Callihan.
And Maclin still assaulting Moose, who's climbed out of the table. Maclin on a rampage.
This might be Barbed Wire Massacre, but you still got to remember at the end of the day, this is essentially a traditional triple threat match. You got to face two opponents. You got to keep them both down if you want to get the victory.
And remember, the only way to win is by pinfall or submission inside the ring.
It's almost hard to think about decorum or rules or technicalities in a match like this.
Blood all over the forehead of Sami Callihan. Look at this up on the stair.
And that's just the start of this one. Maclin now. Is he looking to set up here?
On the top, suplex to the floor by Callihan. Whatever Maclin was planning, Callihan thwarted it.
Well, whether Maclin was planning a suplex of his own, Callihan beat him to it. Both men suffering out here on the floor, though.
And somehow Moose is back up to his feet, albeit hobbled.
See him limping there. The effect's already being felt.
Tossed back inside the ring, trying to avoid the barbed wire at all costs inside the ring to win Barbed Wire Massacre, and a kick out at one by Maclin.
And there's a reason everybody in this matchup isn't exactly wearing traditional wrestling tights and gear, trying to protect what parts of their body they can from the vicious barbed wire. The kiss of metal meeting skin. But I'll tell you this much, a pair of jeans or a t-shirt ain't gonna be much protection.
Oh my God. It's a rolling pin wrapped in barbed wire. Oh, no, not to the head, onto the hand now.
Good
Lord.
God.
Look at that sick smile on the face of Moose.
Well, Julia and Juliet didn't have this in mind when they were making their last meals. This is a different kind of appetite you gotta have for this one.
This is something in the rivalry between Moose and Callihan. Callihan unlocked this sadistic side of Moose. Oh my God, look at the face of Steve Maclin.
But like Moose said, he's been in these violent scenarios before. He is not new to this in Impact Wrestling. But Sami Callihan has brought it to a new level inside the wrestling god.
God, and a big strike right to the face. Down goes Maclin.
And then you see the blood starting to pour out of the head of Maclin after that rolling pin. Moose now the last man to not have blood pouring out of his head as he pounds down on the wound of Maclin.
Wiping Macklin's blood all over his shirt. And now Moose, use one clean set of ropes to go after Maclin.
And now a slap just to add insult to everything else, telling him I'm a wrestling god.
Oh, look at the blood is pouring out of Maclin, and he got all of Moose there.
Turn Moose inside out, did Maclin.
Olympic slam! Cover! Oh, and a kick out by Moose!
As the blood continues to flow, dripping from the bridge of the nose of Maclin.
Oh my God, a straight headbutts here to Moose. You see this face paint that Maclin is wearing here tonight. We talked about it. He wore it at Rebellion as well. It's part of a credo he picked up in the Marine Corps. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. It is understanding your mortality and walking into a situation like Barbed Wire Massacre, being ready to risk it all. Up to the top. Oh, what a beautiful drop kick there by Moose. That's the closest thing you're going to see to wrestling in this match.
Placed perfectly upside the head of Maclin there. And now, Maclin in a bad, bad place. Moose looking to bring him down from the top rope here.
Oh my God, all the way at the top here. Superplex, center of the ring. Oh, and there's Callihan with the barbed wire sign. Oh my God.
The barbed wire everything. That's why it's Barbed Wire Massacre. Take one more look at this. The superplex from Moose to Maclin.
This is grotesque. It is pure carnage, pure savagery here tonight at Victory Road.
Callihan bleeding from the head, courtesy of Maclin. Maclin bleeding from the head, courtesy of Moose. Moose somehow staying in this one, not cut yet.
Maclin, and now Callihan winds one up.
Everybody giving their best shots that they can. Callihan ever defiant.
And now Maclin and Moose, the same target in Callihan right now. We talk about all the time in multi-man matches. There's odd alliances, even though these two have said they're going to stab each other in the back. Oh!
Yeah, one more time to take care of the death machine. But just like that, it's back down to Maclin and Moose fighting it out as well.
And think of what a victory here in the main event of Victory Road in Barbed Wire Massacre would do for any of these three men. Oh my God, stomach and groin first into the barbed wire along the ropes.
And take a look at this suplex into the barbed wire ropes on the other side of the ring. You know, Tom, you just made a really good point there. Imagine this just being a regular triple threat match. A win for any of these guys would be impressive. Beating Moose, beating Maclin, beating Callihan would be incredible, let alone in this catastrophe of violence, this cacophony of chaos, Barbed Wire Massacre.
With Bound for Glory 2 weeks away from tonight, the stakes couldn't be any higher. Oh my God.
Now reaching for the barbed wire wrapped steel chair. A steel chair bad enough on its own, but turned up to 11 here.
They have the win. They have the win.
This is a party!
Sami Callihan enjoying himself, sounding more and more like future Hall of Famer Raven every single day.
Man, who's going to get the better of this situation? Maclin and Callihan. Oh, Maclin suplex into the barbed wire chair.
And now the back continuing to be carved. The skin sliced on the back of Maclin.
Watch this one more time. Callihan gets the better of this exchange. The damage continues to be done to every person in this match.
And even little moments like that. Maclin rolling back after the suplex, almost on instinct, but then finding more barbed wire again, and here we go. Here we go, Tom, a little black bag in a match like this.
Is that a barbed wire Nintendo 64 controller?
Time to get a high score, baby. When they made GoldenEye, they didn't imagine this. It is game on! Oh, God!
The term joystick will never be the same again. Oh my God, look at the face of Maclin. It's a pool of blood.
Where there was once the makeup you were describing earlier, there is now nothing but a mask of blood.
And Callihan returning the favor. This is what Maclin did to Callihan weeks ago on AXS TV.
Let's put a smile on the face of Maclin, courtesy of the Death Machine.
The barbed wire in the mouth of Maclin. Oh my God, is Maclin gonna pass out? Is Callihan gonna win this thing? Oh!
I talked about defiance earlier from Sami Callihan, here in kind from Maclin.
Maclin somehow getting back up to his feet. Callihan could have won it there if Maclin had passed out.
Now backing Sami Callihan into that barbed wire himself.
Now Callihan. Oh, Maclin hits Moose on the outside with the scud.
Beautiful timing there from Maclin. The knee now to Callihan.
Cover to win this thing. Kick out. No, wait a minute. It was Moose. Oh, and Moose broke up the pinfall.
Great presence of mind from Moose here as the chaos continues over on this side of the ring.
Oh, God. No. What the hell is he thinking? Oh, power bomb into the barbed wire ropes.
Moose picked his spot, and he picked a good one, taking Maclin out of the equation. Now a ball? A ball made of barbed wire.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh! Cover! Oh, and a kick out somehow by Callihan. Moose can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. Another one of those little things. Check out, how did he kick out of this?
Oh!
Right onto the barbed wire. You never think, when you have to kick out, you have to press into the mat to get your legs and shoulder up. More pressure onto that barbed wire. The absolute agony these men must be in.
Going for the spear. Oh, the barbed wire chair to the head of Moose.
Moose did not see that one coming.
KIA! KIA! Cover!
Could it be?
Oh, and it's broken up by Callihan.
Grazing across the back of the head of Maclin there.
This is grueling to watch. The barbed wire chair to the skull of Moose. KIA, the DDT by Maclin, and then what remained of that barbed wire ball, Callihan threw it at the head of Maclin.
Now Sami Callihan got some more designs here on the outside for Moose. And a second barbed wire table being set up at ringside here.
I don't like how close this is to us, man.
Right behind me, Tom.
Gladly. This is hell on earth.
And Sami Callihan, despite all of that, seems at home.
Moose and Callihan on the outside, Maclin down on the inside.
Earlier in the match, it was Callihan who planted Moose right to the barbed wire table, looking to do it again.
Moose on top of that barbed wire table. Maclin's got Callihan.
Out of the rear naked choke, also tied up in the barbed wire there. Can't forget that. Look at Sami Callihan.
And Callihan goes down.
Choking what little life is left out of Sami Callihan.
And Maclin knows he can't get rid of Callihan and win the match in that position, so he's going for more damage.
Wait, no way.
Oh, hell no.
Maclin is out of his mind here. He's got his sights set on Moose!
Oh!
Take a look at this, the chair to the chest of Moose. One more time, barbed wire sandwich for the wrestling god.
Oh, and now Maclin turns over Moose in the table, trying to bury Moose in the barbed wire table. Oh, Jesus. God, I'm gonna be sick.
And Maclin, I don't know if you caught it on camera, but is still somehow able to have a sick, twisted smile strewn across his face.
Oh, God, a shot to Moose. Is that a trash can lid with barbed wire all over it?
The answer, if it wrapped everything.
I don't know why
it's
I'm
all
surprised
wrapped
anymore.
in barbed wire. Yes, yes, yes.
My God.
Oh, you see Callihan got his hands on the bat. Two men A sword and a shield here.
Steve Maclin turning into Steve Rogers here in Barbed Wire Massacre. Oh, the barbed wire rubbed into the chest of Callihan. Look at the blood all over.
The cap never fought like this. It's turned up a notch. Callihan with the back.
Oh!
Shades of a hardcore legend. Sami Callihan becoming one in his own right.
Oh, God, the barbed wire door.
Two barbed wire tables, barbed wire steel chair, barbed wire bat, barbed wire N64 controller.
And look at Callihan, he's still wrapped up in the barbed wire from the exchange with Maclin moments ago along the ropes.
And he doesn't seem to be in a hurry to remove it.
Oh! Oh! God, Maclin, oh my God! Striking at will. And a power bomb and a barbed wire door!
That's a second one for Maclin in this matchup. A second barbed wire door. Take a look here. The power bomb leveling Maclin. And now Callihan, look at it. Staring a hole through Maclin.
And now thinking about ending this thing. Cactus Driver 97, center of the ring, cover. Oh, and a kick out by Maclin. How the hell did he kick out?
What? Of this right here, the Cactus Driver 97. After all the carnage, all the chaos, and Maclin stays in it.
And Maclin moments ago went through a barbed wire door, then the Cactus Driver 97, and somehow he's still in this thing.
Look at the droplets of blood covering that door, covering the faces of each competitor, covering the mat. I know Macklin's been in war zones, but this is a different beast altogether.
Now Callihan, no, not again, not again. Oh, and a low blow by Maclin. KIA into the barbed wire door. Maclin wins Barbed Wire Massacre.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of Barbed Wire Massacre, Steve Maclin.